Have you guys gone to see the giant dick iceberg that's apparently floating towards Newfoundland?
No, I literally was just in Dildo where the giant dick iceberg is going, and I didn't see it.
I also heard that it broke, but I
No.
also would like to note that the bay it is in Conception Bay.
For anyone listening, this is not a bit. This is like a legit thing that's happening.
I wonder if it will make it to Spread Eagle, the town that is southwest of Dildo. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Midlight Crisis, a real podcast hosted by three grown-up biologists revisiting books from our teens, and it's totally cool. I am Sophie, and today I am 2% COVID. But also, a different 2% of me has been genetically recombined with a bird that also has a superpower, and that bird is a midlight coffin ostrich.
Wow! The superpower of midlight.
I was like, that's what?
Yep. I didn't listen. Yeah. I'm just reading what it says. I don't know what that superpower is other than the one I already have, which is reading too closely into world building. And I do want to be clear, it's coffin, like a dead person, and not coughing like COVID, but I'm like also what you're doing that. Yeah. Those are why it's two different 2%. Because I can do both right now. Get you a girl who can do both.
Classic.
A coffin ostrich is just like a weird shape.
It's really concerning, honestly.
Yeah. Anyway, who are you guys?
Well, I'm not coughing, but my name's Sam, and today I am 2% a flaming maple bird of paradise.
Wow. A maple bird of paradise.
I mean, a flaming bird of paradise is pretty apropos, honestly.
And a flaming maple bird of paradise. Add a little spice.
I am imagining that you're a bird of paradise, but just in shades of, like, tan.
I love that. But there's got to be, like, one, like, real bright patch or something.
Yeah, like red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like a maple leaf,
for the maple.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a maple leaf pattern on your... Mm-hmm. The inside of your mouth or something.
I just realized how tired I am because I was like, the tan is for the maple.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It's fine. The red is for the flame.
Anyway, who's the last person?
Me. I'm here. My name is Hannah, and 2% of me, my genes today, are time-traveling swamp tit.
Okay.
I want to be a time-traveling swamp tit.
I feel like a swamp tit is just what happens in the summer, honestly.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think a swamp tit is an actual bird, but
Is it?
Could be wrong. No, I think I'm thinking of a swamp wren. Anyway.
Marsh tit. Also, don't Google swamp tit.
What was the first part? Time traveling? Wow.
Time traveling, yeah.
You can go to any time of the worst parts of the year.
Yeah, wherever I go, it's going to be way too hot for whatever bra I'm wearing.
Yeah, damn. Are you sure it's a superpower and not a curse?
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah.
I almost said 6 of one, 12 of the other, which is not.
Not how it goes.
Not it.
We're doing great today.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the reason we are partially birds is because we're reading Maximum Ride. I was going to say as always, but we haven't always been reading Maximum Ride, even though it feels like it sometimes.
It does feel like it.
But how about you guys tell us what happened in the chapters that we read this week?
So chapter 45 brings us back to the Angel and Jeb reunion that Angel wants absolutely nothing to do with. Jeb tries to coax her into eating and Angel refuses, and he tries to do some more sweet talking in attempts to convince Angel that everything being done to her is for the greater good, but Angel wants nothing to do with that. One key thing to take from this chapter, though, which I think we've discussed before, but reminder to all, Angel the mind reader cannot read Jeb's mind at all. Angel exclaims she hates Jeb, And then chapter 46 does a 180 and brings us back to Max, Dr. Martinez, and Ella baking cookies, and Max getting high off the fumes, which is just like an emotional tornado going on. Anyways, but the happy vibes die quickly as Max has to tell Ella she's leaving the next day, which Ella tells her she can't, as she's basically become her cousin or sister, whichever you prefer. The chapter ends with Max reflecting on Jeb's wisdom that decision should be made with the brain and not emotions, which fair, but I also don't think it's so black and white, though it's always a good idea not to make a life-changing decision while angry. Trust me.
Oh. Nudge is in denial that the rest of the flock is dead, which is kind of good because they actually aren't. But she's lying on the floor of their cave having a quiet crisis when Fang returns with some food. And because Fang is a big brother, he tells her that it's a raw rat to gross her out before offering her kebabs instead. They start to triage their options for like what they're going to do next, but then Fang breaks off mid-sentence, staring intently at some large flying blobs in the distance, and Nudge, bless her heart, has absolutely no idea what could possibly be going on until Iggy and the gas man land on the ledge beside them. And then we're back to Max in chapter 48. Her morning departure is full of extremely awkward but like heartfelt goodbyes with Ella and Dr. Martinez, and she shows off her wings a little as she takes off with a running start and a jump, and then she's on her way to find Nudge and Fang and resume the rescue mission, thus ending part 2 of this book.
Wow.
It's such perfect timing.
We planned it for sure.
It's no longer Hotel California, sort of. I don't remember what part 3 is, but stay tuned for the next episode.
Yeah, wow, big reveal. Jeb is back. Badder than ever. Yeah, I don't understand any of his sort of choices.
No.
For why he's come back and been like, anyway, I'm gonna pretend like they'll still like me.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, he shows up and he's playing like a good cop to Angel, his child who he abandoned, let get captured, and put in a cave and experimented upon.
No, it is very much like a man to think that he is so special that a child would forgive him of all of those sins that he's created and just instantly jump into his arms.
Yeah, and he does do the thing where he's like, oh, well, I'm just like a lot smarter than you. You don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Which I remember now I hate about him.
Yeah. Jeb definitely thinks he's the main character of this book.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about him. I don't think he has considered that Angel has, opinions.
Yep. Or is doing anything other than being, like, childish.
Yeah.
About, like, that the only reason she isn't talking to him or that she's mad at him is because he left her. Like that she isn't capable of like something deeper than that.
Yeah.
And not understanding the deep betrayal that he's committed. Like,
Jeb is deeply underestimating.
Yeah.
Angel's
like emotional depth.
Yeah. And her like intellect, which to be fair, is extremely advanced. Like, she is 7. She is not acting like a 7-year-old in these chapters. I mean, I do like that she like really channels her inner bitchy Max in this chapter. Like, I really do appreciate that, but it still feels like a little more advanced than I would expect from a 7-year-old. Granted, Angel can read minds, has been experimented on and traumatized and tortured. Like, I know she's not a regular 7-year-old. Before anyone comes for me, but still.
Yeah, and I don't know that we've talked about this, but I guess if we have to come to terms with the fact that being an eraser prematurely ages,
true,
then maybe these kids are actually prematurely aging also.
Yeah, although I feel like the other 5? Yes, the other 5 are all kind of developmentally what I would expect.
But is Max 16 or 17, but with the like traumatized, neglected child version, which brings her closer to 14, but also she's older technically,
Isn't she 14?
Right, but is she actually 16 or 17? But the neglect and trauma brings her closer to 14, Is that where we're working?
Listen, I have taught kids from 4 to 16 for a good chunk of my life.
Yeah.
I taught tennis for like 7 years. And none of these children acting the age they are. Like, I keep my reference when I'm reading this book is like, I think, okay, the 6-year-olds I taught, none of them are like this. The 10-year-olds I taught, like, nothing.
Okay.
Like, Max, I would say, is actually pretty close to 14. Like, when I'm reading it, I'm in her thing. Like, that is how the teenagers act. The rest of them, they all are, like, way above their age. Even Nudge, because she's supposed to be, like, 8, right?
No,
Nudge is
she's
11.
11, yeah.
Oh, she's 11. Okay.
Gasman's 8.
Gasman's 8. Okay. I should write this down. Jeez.
Although maybe Angel, because we think Angel is the only one who was actually genetically modified
Yeah.
before birth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe Angel is just actually older.
I genuinely think she is. Like, every time, even when I was reading this chapter, I was just like, this is not how a 6-year-old acts. Not even close at all. She forms these full coherent thoughts. Like we've said, she has emotional intelligence. Not that 6-year-olds are incapable of that. It's just
not to this level.
Not to this level. And I have a very large sample size to base that off of. So, like, the main age range I taught tennis to was 4 to 6-year-olds. So,
Oh my god, can they learn
yeah.
tennis?
You can. It's called Le Petit Tennis.
Aw, Le Petit.
But yeah, Angel, unlike any of the 6-year-olds I ever taught.
I mean, one of the ways in which Angel is even more advanced than me, a full adult, I would say, is that she is hungry and someone puts food in front of her and she has the self-control to not eat it. Which is not something that I am capable of.
Yeah, but you didn't have it given to you by the guy who...
That's a good point.
...was your dad, but also experimented on you, and then died, and then undied, and then is experimenting on you again.
Yeah.
I can see how that might change your perspective.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Did any of you get excited that he said how many calories Angel needs in a day?
I did.
Yeah. So he, like, confirms that Angel at 6 years old should be getting about 3,000 calories a day as a bird kid, which is a lot, because an adult human probably is like 2,000 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
average. I think
like that.
I think average, yeah. But I did look up how many calories a child needs, because I think kids need more calories when they're like teenagers.
Yeah.
Than adults. Yes. Right? But like kids don't really need. Usually a child of like 7. It's weird to look up how many calories humans need, because it's all obviously depends on the person. But I think kids roughly need like 1,600 calories at that age. But also, so boys entering puberty or girls like just kids entering puberty need up to 3,000 calories a day.
Oh,
so it's not that wild that a kid will be eating or need 3,000 calories a day as they're growing. If this was supposed to be like a, wow, that's so high kind of number, it's like, well, it's not that high.
But when she goes through puberty, is she then going to need
like 6,000? Maybe, yeah.
I was going to say, I bet Fang and Iggy eat so much.
So much, yeah.
So much. As like pubescent boys, oh my god.
Yeah.
Given their state and how they were living and everything, did they even have enough resources to get that many calories?
That's why they just have to eat pasta.
I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah, eat a bunch of cans of Chef Boyardee, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it did sort of sound like they just graze constantly on like
which makes
high
sense.
carb food, which I would also do in that position.
Yeah.
That's what I did yesterday, and then at 6 p.m. I felt like garbage.
Yeah. I did look up what a hawk needs.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, again, it's weird because hawks are not people-sized.
Yeah.
But if you look at it as like percent of body weight, humans in a day average about like 2 to 3% of their body weight in food, or like 1 to 3% in a day. Whereas hawks will eat like 12 to 15% of their body weight in a single day.
Dang.
So, Angel's definitely closer to the human side of things. But
well, yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense that they have a much higher metabolism or food requirement as 2% bird.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Still seems like it should be more than 2%.
The amount of bird they have in them.
They have so many bird traits.
Yeah. They sure do.
They sure do.
I'm really stuck on whether or not Max and Fang need to eat like 6,000 calories.
I bet they do.
It's a lot.
I feel like they
I
have
bet they
to.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like stuck in my brain at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get confirmation
Hungry all
later.
the time.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was really interesting about this chapter is we get Angel's first confirmed words in captivity, which I've been keeping track of. I don't know if you guys are. But the first thing she says on the page since she's been captured was, "Sure."
I thought that was so funny because
Right?
it was so Max.
Yeah.
So Max.
Oh, and it's also, that was at the moment, I was also like a 6-year-old would say that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like Angel emulating the traits of like her like big sister who she idolizes.
Yeah.
Is like seems very developmentally appropriate.
Yeah. Plays off of Angel almost doesn't seem to like fully have her own opinion about Jeb, but she knows exactly how Max will feel about it.
Yeah.
And so that is so good. That's why she becomes Max. She's like, I know exactly what Max will do in this situation. So
I wonder if Angel really has like a fully formed personality of her own, because since she was like an infant, she has been mind reading everyone around her.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, like I would wonder, I mean, I guess every child to an extent mirrors the personality of their caretakers, right?
Yeah.
But I wonder if it would be elevated in Angel because she spent so much time in other people's thoughts that like it might be hard for her to have her own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that this moment could be happening because she can't get in Jeb's head.
Yeah.
You know, so she's like, okay, wait, I have to fall back on somebody else a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have enough information to make any conclusions, but an interesting point.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why he shows up now, you know?
No.
And not before.
It's very confusing. Like, maybe did he know that she was there before? Did he only just find out?
Yeah, like maybe they were waiting to like, oh, we don't want her to know you're here kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
or was it his idea to like wait until she needed like a savior and then to swoop in and try to, you know, give her food and say comforting things and try to like sway her to like him again? Luckily she's smart enough not to fall for it, but
or there's something about how Jeb is kind of working against the majority of the scientists. Like
he's trying to undermine them.
Yeah, or they're trying to undermine him a little bit because he is kind of pushing to be like, no, treat them like they're sentient, but not like,
can you imagine?
Yeah, but not like in the way of like, and don't torture them, but like stop underestimating them in that kind of way, you know?
Oh my god, just a different flavor of shit.
Yeah, like still experiment on them, but make sure you give them 3,000 calories while you do it. Yeah, so cool.
So cool.
Cool.
Angel hates him, which I think is a good choice.
I really wanted to know why she can't read his thoughts yet, but I guess we'll get that later.
We'll find out in a future chapter.
I feel like that's going to be a long haul answer. I feel like we're going to be waiting for a while.
Yeah.
But I would love to be surprised. I would love to know earlier.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, should we go make some cookies? I want a cookie so bad right now.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh man, Max is in heaven making homemade cookies for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man.
I've been eating. I ate a lot of Craig's cookies last week because my friend was here.
Best cookies.
And it's all I could think about while reading this chapter.
Dang.
They are the best cookies
They're
ever
so
made.
good.
Sorry, Dr. Martinez. Craig's cookies is better.
But since her cookies made me think about those cookies, I'm believing her cookies are on par.
I respect that.
Damn.
Yeah.
I believe it. Dr. Martinez can do no wrong currently.
Thus far.
She did wrong previously, but at the moment she's doing pretty well.
Yeah, and we technically don't know about that yet.
Nope.
I also can't take these chapters seriously anymore because the amount of foreshadowing and everything
I
in
know.
it, and now knowing it is like, it kind of ruined this. Not ruined it, but like the comments were like, Ella's like, well, you're like my sister or cousin. I'm like,
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dr. Martinez is like, just like a real mom, but she's even better, unlike any other parent Max had ever heard of. It's like, okay, first of all, where have you heard of a parent? Like TV?
yeah.
Were there good parents on TV in 2004? I don't think so.
I think there was mostly bad parents.
Yeah.
But did you catch at the very beginning of this chapter, Max says, to make my Mayberry holiday complete?
Yeah, what was that? I don't know what that means.
I think I know what it is, but I had to do some sleuthing.
Okay.
Mayberry, North Carolina is a fictional town from the Andy Griffith Show, which was like one of the most popular sitcoms that ran from like 1960 to the mid 1970s.
Oh.
And it was like number one show for that period of time, which I'm assuming maybe was either reruns they would get on TV or because of the time period and the age of the scientists. Maybe it was something they thought about a lot or talked about. But I think what it is that the whole idea of the show is to like make you feel nostalgic for like the 1930s. Like the show was filmed in the 60s, the 50s and 60s, but it is like made to be nostalgic for the 30s, which is very, nuclear family.
Yeah, mom making
home
cookies. Yeah.
And so again, I haven't seen any of the Andy Griffith Show, and this is just from looking up Mayberry. But this seemed like the biggest hit, the only hit, really. And so that's what I think she's getting at here.
That's such an old man James Patterson thing.
I was gonna say, it's 100. I'm trying to frame it as like, why does it make sense in the context? But I'm like, but it is just James Patterson.
Yeah, he's like, this is a cultural reference that we can all appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I mean, maybe if you had referenced I Love Lucy, that would have been, that one had a little bit more holding power. Yeah. But I guess the Andy Griffith Show, like, is talked about, like, it is referenced in a lot of other TV shows, like, apparently referring to Mayberry, as in the town from the Andy Griffith Show, like, happens in, like, Cheers and House and Supernatural and How I Met Your Mother. So, like, it is known. And it could also just be a Canadian thing that we don't know about it.
Perhaps.
Oh. Yeah.
So.
Something about our demographic did not lend us to knowing this reference.
Nope.
Huh.
So, anyway, that's what I think Max means by to make my Mayberry holiday complete. You went to this little nostalgia town for something that doesn't exist, but you're still nostalgic for it.
I believe that. I think, honestly, I looked at that and like thought about it a bit, and I was like, maybe they're in a town called that right now, or maybe it's a pop culture thing, and then I distinctly decided I don't care, and I moved on.
I cared.
I was like, this is not worth looking up, but I'm glad you looked it up because that was a better answer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, kind of interesting, right?
Well, in keeping with the like 1930s theme, Max is like enjoying the hell out of making these cookies. And she makes a mental note to herself to teach Nudge and Angel how to bake cookies.
Yeah.
And I was like, what about the boys, though?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Max.
Excuse me. Listen, I am all for, like modern feminism empowerment, meaning that you can be a 1950s housewife if you want to be.
Yeah.
And that, maybe you could be like, wow, as a woman, I want the experience of making cookies with my pseudo children.
Yeah.
Or my family, who are also women. And it's like, okay, yeah, for sure. But also, Max.
Yeah, like you're trying to tell me Iggy, the guy who cooks breakfast, and Gasman the Sunshine 8-year-old don't want to know how to make cookies.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Come on.
Why not with your whole family?
Right? Make it like a family activity. You can show Fang up because he doesn't know how to make cookies, and now you know how to make cookies.
Yeah, is this gonna be while Fang, like, goes out in his duster jacket and hat to go to the office?
Oh, I
and
was
come
thinking
back?
he goes to chop wood. The most masculine thing you can do is go out to chop wood.
Yeah. No, Fang has to go into the office to work.
Oh, okay. Right,
Provide for the family.
Provide for the family.
Anyway,
yeah.
it's fine.
Because I feel like I've been trying to give the benefit of the doubt to all of the, like, casually kind of sexist things that have been happening. And but this one I feel is mostly just like, yeah, it's just straight up like, yeah, the boys don't want to bake. It's like,
yeah, like part of me is like, okay, I kind of get it. Like, they've made it clear that one thing that they all kind of secretly want deep down inside is a normal family life, and the only way they can compare that to anything is like what they've seen on TV, which is going to be like very heteronormative.
Yeah.
Like whatever, the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
But also it's like, you have been living your life outside of any of that.
Right?
And you, like, yeah, it has been said that Iggy likes to cook. So why not have her thought here be like, gosh, wouldn't it be great to show my whole family how to make chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm also, like, a little surprised given that we know they have the internet and it's not like they go to school. Like, why have they not looked up how to cook things?
Well, they'd have to get ingredients, right?
Yeah, but they get other food. They clearly have no problem, like, going out and stealing food.
Yeah.
So they could just, like, steal food.
It
Or
seems
dumpster
like
dive behind a bakery? I don't know.
Yeah, right? Because they steal stuff that can still be good even after it's been thrown out.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you can't really steal, like,
Butter.
flour.
Yeah, okay.
Like, people aren't going to throw out a bag of flour.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe they've been making those, like, tube cookies.
Uh-huh. Oh, I almost bought some of those the other day.
They're
I
really
went to
good.
the grocery store while I was hungry, which is always a mistake.
That is a mistake. We need to stop talking about cookies or else we're going to end this podcast just to go get cookies.
Yes.
Yeah, let's wrap this up so I can go raid my kitchen.
Anyway, let's talk about the next Ella chapter. How about that?
Yeah.
And
then we can go back to...
And we'll go back to the
Nudge
Nudge and Fang. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This chapter is also extremely short, and I don't have much to say about it.
Yeah, but it is the lead up into the next part of the book. Because finally Max is on her way again.
Oh my god, finally.
It took so long. Even though I don't think it actually took that long, it just feels like it took that long.
It was like 3 days.
I think it took 1 day.
Well, but she slept over twice.
Yeah.
It was definitely 2 nights, 3 days, I think.
Yeah. I think it's like first thing in the morning on the 3rd day. And the 2nd day is when she got shot and arrived. So
she slept over at Ella's house twice.
Right.
So she got shot on the 1st day.
Arrived at Ella's at night because it was dark.
Yeah.
Slept, went to the vet office.
Slept. And then now, first thing in the morning, she heads out.
Yeah, I guess it just seems longer because it has been like 20 fucking chapters.
Yep.
Yep, which is like a lot of episodes.
Sure is.
So many episodes. This podcast has just been Max at Ella's house. The whole thing.
Yeah. I do have like a very important note to point out in this chapter. And it's that Max has a hard time expressing her emotions. Unsurprising.
Yes.
And then says, how's that for eloquent, huh? I sounded like Tarzan. When when explicitly, like 6 chapters ago, Nudge has no idea what Tarzan is.
Well, I think it was a few chapters ago she doesn't know why she yells Tarzan, right?
I'm pretty sure she says whatever that means. So she doesn't know what Tarzan means.
I interpreted that as like she like jumps off a cliff or whatever it was and yells Tarzan, which is not like a thing that Tarzan ever does.
No.
Exactly.
But like between that and this, I would believe that they have probably seen like an old Tarzan show and see him like swinging around or whatever, and they're like, yeah, Tarzan.
See, this is my interpretation was that Nudge was yelling it because she knew Tarzan was something, but she doesn't know what. And so she yelled it as she jumped off to take off. But explicitly, Max has seen Tarzan.
So Max hasn't let Nudge watch Tarzan.
Yeah.
It's like how my parents wouldn't let me watch Pokemon when I was little because it was too violent.
Yeah, exactly. Those Pokemons are dying.
Well, they got in fights all the time.
Again, I feel like the most logical explanation is that none of them have seen Tarzan, but they've just picked it up from context clues.
Yeah. I like that
Yeah.
explanation.
Once again. Like their baseball references and their Andy Griffith's show, Mayberry.
Yeah, I appreciate this.
Yeah, maybe it's actually really good writing. Who knows?
Could be. I bet they we know they have the internet. I bet they don't have like cable or anything though. They just have like a random assortment of VHSs that they've pulled out of like dumpsters and stuff like that, which is probably why they're...
They probably also have what I had growing up, which is you just have your little rabbit ears and you just have to try and get them to connect to one of the 4 Quebec channels.
Oh,
Sure.
And then you watch whatever is on.
Télé Français.
Télé Français.
Télé Français!
We didn't have Télé Français.
Oh no, I guess it was all just...
All of it is
Télé
Télé
Français.
Français. Yeah.
The 2.
Yeah, we had the one, I think, English channel that we could watch.
Did you have the Je suis a nanana?
Sweet la na.
Yeah, it was just every day. Anyway, I thought it was fun that she shows off to Ella and Dr. Martinez, like, oh, here, you've taken care of me. Check out me taking off.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a good little character moment, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, she might be like kind of out of her depth and having all of these weird emotions about having a semi-domestic life.
Yeah.
But I feel like Max is like a bit of a showboat. Just like at the core of her, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. She can't resist it.
And it's like really nice that despite maybe what we will learn eventually at some point, like especially because these chapters they're happening in between chapters of the other characters, despite how we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And so like as a counterpoint to like Jeb being like, whatever, you're only here for us to exploit, like to have Ella and Dr. Martinez just like experience Max's situation with like wonder is pretty nice, you know? Like, wow, this incredible thing exists. Amazing.
Yeah.
And not trying to pick it apart.
Yeah.
Is good for Max, I think.
Yeah, like it feels like they all like improved each other's lives, the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Which is just nice. I don't know. I got like really emotional about all of these chapters, honestly.
I knew you would.
There was like a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. No, again, this section with Dr. Martinez, literally the part that made me push for us to do this book.
Okay, I was thinking like while I was reading these, because there's so much of children being horrifically traumatized, I was like, why did we choose to read these books?
Because I remembered that there was actual attempts for science.
Yeah.
And there were moments, like I had remembered the moment where there was the x-ray of Max's wing.
Okay.
And I was like, we haven't done a book where they actually like explain or look at specifics in this kind of way.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was a good one. And I think it's a good counterpoint to the other ones.
Yeah.
I agree.
Even with all the child trauma.
We also haven't had a book that so variably showcases the way that trauma can impact the development of a child's emotional life.
Yeah.
So that's good to explore, I guess.
Yeah, before we were just exploring how Aragon was just the traumatized in the one way.
The one way.
Just one child being traumatized.
And now we have 6 of them all reacting slightly differently to the same trauma.
Exactly. Thrilling and exciting. Exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff.
Shall we talk about the Nudge and Fang chapter?
We should.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the thing that made me the most emotional about all of these chapters was Nudge like sitting quietly in the cave by herself, quote unquote, realizing that of all of the like things that she ever thought she wanted or needed in life, like all of the nice things and like having clothes and having enough food, like all she really needed was a place where the erasers can't get her. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's so rough. Like that
Yep.
was really hard to read. That's like a kid in like on the brink of just completely losing everything.
Because the previous chapter, I think, with them was the one where she's like, well, I guess all of my family's dead. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to look out for myself. Like, if
Yeah.
someone was gonna have to die, at least it was Angel and not Max, you know, like
Yeah.
that train of thought. And then this one here where it's like, oh, you don't need your stuff or your parents. All you really need is to be where the erasers can't get you. And it's like, oh god, Nudge is really going through it.
She's having a rough time.
Like, really rough.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Like, let's be very clear about that. She is completely, like, and as far as she's aware, everybody else has been confirmed dead by the erasers, and they just narrowly escaped from the erasers. So she's like full survival mode, but like, god damn. Somebody give that girl a hug.
Like, kind of wild that Fang or no, like they haven't had a conversation until now about everyone else being dead.
Yeah.
Like, it sort of seems like they have gotten away. They're resting. Like, they thought there was a helicopter flying around. Fang left, comes back. And it's like, okay, at no point did you have a conversation about maybe to confirm with each other that it's probably not everyone else is dead, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, Fang is definitely not the type to initiate a conversation until he's had time to think about it beforehand.
Yeah.
But still, buddy.
Considering Nudge is always talking, you'd think she would have talked about it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty rough that she also just immediately believes the erasers, that everyone else is dead. Like, again, the kind of underlying trauma.
Yeah. Where she's like, it's the worst thing that can possibly happen. So as soon as someone suggests that that's the case, she believes it.
Yeah. But it's okay because everybody shows up.
Yeah. Well, and I love Fang's like big brother prank. I thought that was really cute.
It was very cute.
Yeah, like he comes back and he's like, yeah, I brought you a raw rat. He like pulls something out of his pocket. Nudge doesn't see what it is or what it is. Yeah, takes a big bite, like chews really loudly, and Nudge is like, "Oh my god, that's disgusting! How could you do that?" And then he gives her barbecued vegetables.
Yeah. Again, nothing in the way Fang is acting leads me to understand why even his like family members thinks he's like standoffish and not a team player.
Yeah, like he's so aware of what other people around him need.
It seems like one of those things that it would be like more believable if people were like, yeah, Fang, he always acted so cool and standoffish, but you know, we all knew his family that like he was gonna take care of everybody, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, Nudge is convinced that he's gonna abandon her at the slightest provocation.
Yeah.
Which again, possibly just a Nudge trauma response.
Yeah.
But still, like, he's been there her whole life. She should probably have some idea that like he cares. He also is extremely pragmatic. Yeah. And Nudge is very emotional, so maybe she doesn't quite get it, but like
they should help even each other out, you would think.
You would think.
You would think.
Like, Fang does pretty much expressly say, you know, Angel's probably dead.
Yeah, he does say that. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey.
I reread that like 3 times because he's
Me
like,
too.
Well, we knew they had Angel. That's probably all over by now. It's like, oh my god, what?
Yeah. No, he just like straight up believes she's dead.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
I mean, I guess don't spare Nudge if you do think she's dead, you know?
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it is probably better if Angel was dead for sure. You're like, listen, don't hope that she's not. But...
Yeah. But still, maybe that's why they haven't had a conversation yet, because Fang had to prepare to...
tell her that Angel's
be like,
dead.
Well, because he's like, well, we don't know that like, how would the erasers know Max was dead? And we don't even know where Max is. But
Yeah.
Angel is probably dead.
Yeah, Angel
Oh
for
my
sure
God.
dead.
Angel's for sure dead, but like Max maybe not. It's like okay.
It's also funny that Nudge apparently can't recognize two bird kids flying in.
There is not a single thought in her head.
No, she is having a rough go of it.
I feel like she just like doesn't, I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't sound bad, but like I feel like she doesn't think about things. She just observes things and takes everything at face value.
Yeah, fair. Much like
But
me.
yeah, I mean, same, yeah. I am pretty convinced at this point that Nudge has ADHD.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, I know, she just like, even in the act of talking about the rest of their flock mates,
Yeah.
and Fang looking out at what turns out to be Iggy. So it ends up being Iggy and Gasman. And even while all of these context clues are around her, she's like, huh, those are some hawks. Those are some big hawks out there. Weird.
Wow, they're so awkward. These
Yeah.
giant eagles, they're so awkward.
Yeah, Fang signals to them in a way that we all assume, like, we have to assume is a way they signal to each other in other ways.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah, he uses a
they
mirror.
respond to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
But she's still like, gosh, wild. What if it's flying erasers?
Yeah, oh my god.
I think that's a valid concern. I think there are flying erasers later
I-
in this book.
Are there really? Oh my god,
Yeah.
no.
That's not out of the realm of possibility.
I'm
Ugh.
pretty sure they have erasers with wings.
Of course they do.
I remember this as well.
Yeah.
Are they also wolves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With wings?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Jeez.
Because they have to keep studying the bird kids, but apparently not enough to not just make flying erasers.
Oh my god. They were like, well, it worked when we
Well.
put wings on humans. What if we put them on humans that were already turned into werewolves?
Now they're only 94. Nope, that's the wrong math. 96%.
I mean, maybe they were 4% wolf. I don't know. Could be the correct math.
Oh, that's a good point. They might also be part snake, remember, with their
Oh yes,
drop
with
down
the
fangs.
Oh, yes.
And
kinetic
part
skull.
bacteria.
Never forget.
Never remember.
Never remember.
Proving once again why Iggy is like low-key my favorite character. They like show up. Nudge is so happy she could hardly believe it, and all she can think to say is, "You aren't dead." And Iggy says irritably, "No, you aren't dead either. How about just hello?" He's such a little shit. Was that necessary? No.
No, but he's
No,
gonna.
it wasn't. But he's 14.
It's gonna happen. I'm choosing to believe that the reason they found them so easily is because they're really just all locked on to that visual directional thing birds could do. And that they all just went in a direct straight line in the direction they were going.
Probably. I was wondering how they found them, but yeah, that makes sense.
Or maybe they saw Fang flying around. They were like, oh, it's Fang.
Yeah.
Because everybody other than Nudge can recognize each other in the air.
Oh, poor Nudge. She's just not paying attention.
She's doing her best.
I mean, she has a lot going on.
Yeah.
She's just going through a lot, guys. She's just kind of like me right now. Just no thoughts, just vibes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bad vibes.
Extremely bad vibes.
Extremely bad vibes.
And bad thoughts.
Bad thoughts, bad vibes. Good vegetables,
bad
though.
Vibes.
Yeah, I am trying to, like, is this the moment where she becomes vegetarian, or was she already vegetarian?
Well, we decided she was vegetarian when she ate fast food salad for breakfast.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't think
good,
she has
yes.
announced yet that she is not going to eat meat anymore.
Oh my god, but Fang noticed that she
Fang
only wanted
noticed.
salad, and so now he's like,
know.
anyway, I brought you just vegetables.
I know.
Wow, Fang's so great.
Fang is, like, so considerate.
So considerate. What a guy.
He's such a good boy.
I am slightly worried now that we know the caloric intake that they need, that Nudge is not getting enough
Yeah.
calories.
Honestly.
I'm really worried about it, especially when my thought was like, a kebab is peppers, onion, maybe mushroom. I'm like,
get some potatoes in that girl.
There's no
Yeah,
calories.
real.
like, there's no calories there.
Yeah.
There's nutrients, good nutrients.
Yeah.
But
Super healthy.
the caloric intake is not high enough for what she needs.
Yeah.
No,
really.
if we assume that she is like pubescent bird kid and therefore
Yeah.
needs 6,000 calories. One
Yeah. She's
serving
right
of
in the
roasted
midst
vegetables
of
is not
it.
going to do it.
No.
No, someone get this girl, like, some heavy cream.
Yeah.
Some chickpeas.
Yeah,
Chickpeas,
really.
Some
Beans.
legumes.
a bunch of cheese, a grilled
Plus-
cheese sandwich.
A grilled cheese sandwich with some avocado in it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's what
Those
she
are
needs.
just really easy to get from a
Yeah.
campground.
You know what?
Kind of hungry.
Yeah, me too. I am worried about the campers that they stole all this food from.
Yeah.
Actually, because they're like, haha, we took it from some campers. And I'm like, those campers might starve.
I mean, I'm hoping they're like, if they're making kebabs with meat and vegetables, I'm hoping they're like car camping and not like multi-day backpacking.
Yeah, fair.
So if they have to leave like half a day early, they'll be fine.
That's fair. Because if they were out like backpacking, it would be like, I stole this whole pot of instant mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Because that's the real food you eat when backpacking multi-day.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably would have been better for Nudge.
Yeah.
But...
Nudge needs some trail mix. Get that girl some trail mix.
Yeah. Get her some porridge. Anyway, should we guess what happens next?
Let's.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so we are going into part 3, which is called School. What could be scarier than that?
Oh my god.
Same. I agree.
Says the student.
Says the student. Okay, so chapter 49. All right, I'm going to read you the first sentence, and you have to guess what's going to happen in the rest of the chapter.
Yeah.
Per usual. Okay. After about half an hour, I felt like I'd work most of the kinks out of my muscles. Sorry. Reading is hard.
Is that in the book, or are you just saying that?
The sorry reading is hard was me.
Okay.
Everything else was the book.
It's Max flying.
First person, yeah. And she's taking a break from flying, or
she's like...
Or she's mid-flight,
gotten in the groove. Yeah. I feel like she's in the groove.
Good guess.
Maybe she will find the other 4 in this chapter, but probably not. It's going to be another 3 chapters before they all meet up.
Probably.
Maybe the beginning of chapter 50 will help you assess this. They spotted me, and bright, goofy smiles lit the faces of the Gasman and Nudge.
Okay, they're all finally reunited.
Oh my god, I want to read the chapter now. Guys, I don't know if you know this about me. Reunions are like one of my favorite things in fiction. When characters have been separated and then they reunite, it's always my favorite. I'm going to be thinking about this for a while.
You're going to actually like these chapters, maybe.
I liked the last 4.
That's true.
To be fair.
Okay, chapter 51 starts with, okay, I said once we were high, flying with a steady rhythm.
Oh, wow, that was a fast reunion, okay.
They probably all tag-teamed, realized they've wasted enough time, and are like, Angel! And now are flying in formation back to the school to get Angel.
Yes.
Yeah, good guess.
Nice.
Nothing to add.
Perfect. One more chapter, right? Yeah, okay. I don't think I've mentioned this, but all of us in the flock have an inborn sense of direction.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay.
Validation.
Okay.
Validation.
Nice.
You scienced that so good.
I scienced it so good.
I think they're still flying.
Yeah, they're navigating.
Like, this probably could have been combined with the other chapter, knowing this book.
This all sounds like it could be one chapter.
Whoa.
A reasonable book, but,
wild.
Shocking.
Well, great guesses, everyone.
Thanks.
Probably. Who knows? Anyway, let's talk about what else we're reading. I've had COVID, so I haven't read anything.
Yeah, that's so fair.
That's fair.
I watched all of the TV show Willow.
Oh, is it good?
It was fun, and I think it was very fun. It was not take itself very seriously fantasy, based on, I guess, the 1980s movie.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But the TV show was fun. Apparently it hasn't been renewed for a second season, so I'm just sad about it now. But it was a good time. That's all I did. What did you guys read?
I did not watch Willow. I finally finished Rhythm of War.
Oh my god, you did it!
I did it.
Good job,
wow,
Sam.
clapping. Huzzah.
About a week and a half ago.
Wow.
Dang.
Because it's been a little while since we recorded. But it's finished. It's done.
Amazing. How does that feel?
It feels good, but I just, I feel like I didn't enjoy the book as much as others. I don't know. I just don't think I was in the right mood for long fantasy. I was at the beginning of it, and then it got to the point where I just wanted to finish it, so I kind of stopped caring. And I have to find like a review or something of the book, because I'm just like, I don't remember what happened in the second half. I
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
like the
fair.
main things, but because it's such high fantasy, there's so many little details that I know are going to be important for the fifth book. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to like re-listen to this and whatever. But it's done. I can say I did it.
You did it.
You
Yeah.
did it, and we're proud of you.
Thank
So bad.
you.
That book is thick.
It is so thick. The audiobook is 54 hours or
Oh, God.
something. Don't quote me on that though, but it's something stupid.
That sounds
Yikes.
right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
But other than that, reading has not been a priority at the moment, so I've just mostly been listening to audiobooks. I listened to a nonfiction while doing work, which was Four Lost Cities: A Secret History of the Urban Age, which again I listened to while I was working.
Started reading that one.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It has some cool points, but I listen to nonfiction while I'm working like it's a podcast, so I don't necessarily take in everything while I'm listening to it. But
Yeah.
there were some cool points. Like they talk about Pompeii, which is interesting,
Oh.
and they talk about the Tonle Sap, which is a lake somewhere. I don't want to. This is going to be bad. I should have looked this up. But anyways, I did a bit of research on it in undergrad, so I was like, oh, that's cool.
Fun.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's like a 6-hour listen. And then I am still reading A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsk, because that is an ebook and I just haven't read a lot.
To be fair, it is still April.
I have one day. I might be able to finish it before I go to bed. My Kindle says I have 2.5 hours left.
Oof.
So
Wow.
we'll see, but I've also been diving all weekend, so
Yeah.
we'll see. But lastly, I am listening to These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan, which is the second book in the These Hollow Vows duology, and I just have to say, this is so my shit. And
The cover is like extremely romantic-y.
oh man, I just wish it wasn't YA. I've aged the female character up in my head because I can't deal with the like 16-year-old. I'm like, no, you're not. But like, if the main character was like older, everything exactly my shit. It's very good. It's very much everything you want in a romantasy. It is very YA, but I don't care.
I mean,
It's
that's
good.
a good YA when you don't care that it's YA.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, I am currently listening to Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, which is the second half of the Villains duology. That's exactly that's exactly how you describe that book. Yes. Yeah, it's really good. She's such a wordsmith. Oh my god.
I know.
Like, dang. I wish I had that skill. And less wordsmithy, I'm reading Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, which is
Yes.
oh my god, it is so much hornier than I thought it was gonna be.
I was shocked you were reading that.
God.
Yeah, I've heard it's
okay.
so horny.
I hadn't heard much about it, but I knew it was popular, and I read a hockey romance last winter, and I was like, I am so into this. But I'm like halfway through the book, and y'all, there have been like 8 discrete sex scenes. It's so much.
Oh my god.
That's a lot for a
lot.
romance, even.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so much. Just like every other chapter, they had sex in the back of an Uber while 6 of their friends were sitting in it with them. Like, who does that? Are you kidding me?
What?
Oh my god, I was so grossed out. They just oh my god.
I don't think I want to read this anymore.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I regret spending my money on it.
That sounds more like an erotica than a romance.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want like a extremely sexy book that's written okay, may I recommend this one? Otherwise, read The Villains duology instead. Holy shit. Or because this episode is coming out in June, you could read Stone Blind, Medusa's Story by Natalie Haynes, which is what we're going to be reading in June.
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully it's good.
We're excited about it.
We are excited about it. If you liked this chapter of Midlight Crisis, consider rating and reviewing us on Spotify or your podcatcher of choice. You can talk to us and find fun-related content on social media. We are at Midlight Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Tumblr, and all chapters of the show thus far are available on our website, midlightpod.podbean.com, and on YouTube.
And Sophie, who has COVID, even though we're all collectively pretending that the pandemic is over. It was enough to give me a psychotic break, if I let myself dwell on it.
I am not dwelling on it.
Nope, don't do that.
The number of people who were like, yeah, come into our place of business.
I was like, nobody
really?
cares anymore.
Really? I actively know that I have it.